Hello everyone, I'm Advocate Florence Sabreen from Tri-beauros Legal Services. In the recent times, we have been seeing people in both print and electronic media complaining about the medical negligence. For example, inducing high steroids causing multiple organ failure, wrong vaccine dose, the ventilator tube was not placed properly, etc. etc. Well, the purpose of this presentation is to inform you regarding the legal remedies available to the victims of medical negligence. Well, before getting into the topic, we salute the entire medical fraternity for their tireless and dedicated service to the people. Healthcare is now well recognized as a fundamental right under Article 21 of Indian Constitution. Therefore, it is a duty upon the state to make provisions for affordable treatment and also patients to be treated with dignity irrespective of social, cultural, and economic background. What is medical negligence? In a landmark case, Bolum versus Freen Hospital Management Committee, it is well defined that negligence means failure to act in accordance with the standard of ordinarily skilled man, exercising and professing to have that special skill. The doctor owes a duty of care to the patient, and in the process of treatment, if the doctor breaches this duty of care and causing an injury due to this breach, is medical negligence. Payouts. When there is a medical negligence, a payout is given by the corporate hospitals or doctors to avoid the higher costs, legal escalation, to save their reputation, and also to encourage the patient to withdraw the cases. Generally, a hospital gives a partial or complete refund of the fee to the victims. But what about the loss incurred if the patient is dead or if there is a serious injury? A settlement culture like this will have a long-lasting impact on justice and patients' rights, as one cannot understand what kind of justice or compensation is actually due, whereas the court follows certain formulas to refund so that the maximum loss is covered. Suffering from any kind of injury as a result of medical treatment can be both traumatic and life-changing to a patient. Let's see some examples of medical negligence. Leaving the surgical tools in the body. In a case law, Nihal Kaur versus Director PGI MSR, the doctor has left the pair of scissors in the patient's body. The other examples are surgeon using old and faulty equipment, missing organs, failure to diagnose a medical condition or wrong diagnosis, made a mistake during a procedure or operation, improper use of drugs or prescribing the wrong amount of medication. To this, Kunal Saha versus AMRI Hospital is a landmark case, and it is also known as Anuradha Saha case. In this case, the highest amount of compensation was awarded by Supreme Court of India, which is amounting to 11 crores. In this case, both wife and husband were doctors from USA. When they visited India, the wife had developed a skin problem and visited the top doctor in the city. The doctor administered the steroids in high dosage and she died. Next point is, if a junior doctor is treating the patient under the guidance of senior doctor and in the process of treatment something happens to the patient, the senior doctor is held liable. Let's see the legal remedies available. Principle of res ipsa loquitur is applied in deciding the medical negligence cases. There are 4 legal remedies and they are suit for damages under Civil Procedure Code, complaint under Criminal Procedure Code, redressal under Consumer Protection Act, and disciplinary action by Medical Council of India. Let's see who can file a case. Patient, if he or she is alive. Family members or the legal heirs, if the patient dies. Guardian or parent, if patient is minor. Guardian or legal heir or family members, if the patient is in vegetative state, and associates. How to file a complaint. Before framing a complaint, the patient, along with the help of an advocate, should take the medical expert opinion. Since it's a technical subject, the expert doctor may advise whether it's a real medical negligence or not. For that, the patient has to gather the complete medical record from the doctor. Please note, doctors or hospitals have to maintain the patient's records for 3 years. While filing a case, The detailed description of the events have to be mentioned, like diagnosis, medical treatment, date and time, whether the consent is given or not, discharge summary, and also the payment receipts. Remedies under Civil Procedure Code. Compensation can be claimed with this. Poonam Verma versus Ashwin Patel. In this case, a homeopathy doctor prescribed allopathic medicines and the patient died. In other case, Achyutrao Kodwa versus State of Maharashtra. A mob was left inside the body of a patient. In Jasbir Kaur versus State of Punjab, a newly born child was taken away by the cat in government-owned and managed hospital. In all these cases, the compensation was given to the victims. Remedies under Criminal Procedure Code. Section 304A, 336, 337, 338 of IPC deals with the medical negligence. In a landmark case, Dr. Suresh Gupta versus Government of NCT, Supreme Court has clearly stated that the medical negligence has to be gross and reckless for the criminal liability. Remedies under Consumer Protection Act. If the victim wishes to receive monetary compensation, the best way would be to approach the consumer court. In a landmark case, Indian Medical Association versus VP Shanta, the Supreme Court held that the medical practitioners are service providers and hence they come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. This decision redefined the relationship between the patients and the medical professionals as contractual and recognized the rights of a patient to file a complaint under this act. Please note that if the medical service is offered at free of cost or if it's a personal service, this is not covered under Consumer Protection Act. And if both the parties want to compromise, they can simply submit an affidavit in the court mentioning the entire details of the case and the settlement terms. The limitation to file a complaint is 2 years. The patient or his family members or legal heirs can approach the forum within this time. Claims. If the victim's claim is less than 20 lakhs, then he can file a complaint in district forum. If it's between 20 lakhs to 1 crore, then it's a state commission. And if the claim is more than a crore, then it has to be filed in national commission. Compensation. If the court is convinced that there is an occurrence of medical negligence, the forum calculates the compensation on the factor multipliers. The factors include the loss of future earnings if a person is unable to work or return to the same level of work, loss suffered by the legal heirs when the patient dies, pain and suffering or psychological injury, payment for the ongoing medical treatment and any other care that is required. Disciplinary action by Medical Council of India. Medical Council of India and the appropriate state medical councils are empowered to take the disciplinary action where the practitioner's name could be removed forever or be suspended for a while. What is the process to file a complaint? A complaint has to be filed to the police and the concerned state medical council board. And after the investigation, the board takes the necessary action. And if the practitioner is found guilty, the punishment will be decided by the nature and seriousness of the negligence. If either of the parties are unhappy about the disciplinary action taken by the medical council, they can approach National Consumer Forum or Supreme Court. Exceptions. Doctors cannot be held liable when they take a reasonable care in treating the patient. In a case, Martin D'Souza versus Muhammad Ishfaq, the Supreme Court held that if doctors take a reasonable care while treating a patient, they would not incur any liability even if their treatment failed. Wrist drop case. The patient was operated on the wrist and there were few nerves cut. Later, the patient complained that the doctor was negligent. The court dismissed the case and also stated that the mere allegation will not make out a case of negligence unless it is proved by reliable evidence and is supported by expert advice. Eyesight case. The doctor operated the complainant's eye, but the sight is not restored. The patient has diabetes and BP also. The doctor cannot be held negligent because even after adopting all the necessary precautions, the result of the operation may not be satisfactory since it depends on various other factors. The next exception is prior consent of patient or attendant may not be obtained during the emergency condition. Studies show that the lifestyle diseases such as heart problems, cancers, organ failures, BP, diabetes, etc., are expected to increase throughout the years if people do not pay attention to their health, both physical and mental. To avoid all the medical complications, one has to have a balanced diet and a lot of physical activity to lead a healthy life. For any queries or legal assistance, please do contact us with the details mentioned on the screen. If you would like to know any particular topic on law, please leave us a comment. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.